1992. It's Bug Jam 6. It's a very different scene here than it was last year. We're basking in sunshine, as you can see, and the convertible roofs are very much down. What do you think of Bug Jam this year?
Excellent.
Bug Jam 92.
Bug Jam, bloody brilliant, fucking amazing.
How's Bug Jam been this year?
Brilliant.
Has it?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
it's the first time here. Good rave last night. Should have gone a bit longer though.
Yeah.
But weather's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Atmosphere's brilliant.
The crowd here at Bug Jam this weekend is a mixture of young and old being over 30, a mixture of purists, VW enthusiasts and people who are just sort of Beatle maniacs. And everybody seems to be having a really good time. Everyone's sort of smiling, everyone's got their bodies out in the sun. And the Show and Shine tent seems to have some stunning new cars in it this year. And we should go over there and have a quick look.
Championship racing at its very best, courtesy of the VWDRC at this Bug Jam. Bumper crowd and a bumper field in our eliminations. We pick it up in our street division, and we've got Bob Cook, and he's going against Duncan Wilson. A lot of people there enjoying the sun, enjoying some great racing action throughout the course of the weekend. So, as I say, semi-finals. We see the handicap there, the little Buggy just getting away first, bogging slightly there as he changed gear, and it looks as though Bob Cook is the man that's going to try and charge past him there towards mid-track. Looks as though it's going to be close. You can see their dial-ins there, 1740 to a 1655. Who's going to hang on? Is Bob Cook going to make it? Let's see who takes the win. 1661. It's Duncan Wilson, I do beg your pardon, that takes that win. 1661 at 68 miles an hour. We move on to that final of our street division. Duncan Wilson against that very quick kit car of Mark Leffley. Nice light frame and very, very light fiberglass body. Really can make the most of that Volkswagen power. And you can see him just pulling away there at the top end, just starting to dab the brakes. Doesn't want to go quicker than that dial-in. Runs right on at 1580. Well done to Mark Leffley. Takes the win at 77 miles an hour. Well, Super Street has been a division that really has been very well attended in a lot of different races during the course of the year. And we pick it up again in semi-finals. And it's Paul Sutton, the new man there, against that old stager, Gary Angel, the Bugbear car. The man from down in Dorset really has got a fight on his hands this year against Jim Bowen. Of course, we see John Brewster also back in the class. I think he's going to be the dark horse later on in the season. Both the cars moving forward into stage. Let's watch the Christmas tree as it rolls. You see Paul Sutton go, but an upset there. Gary Angel pulling a red light. So that's Gary Angel, the man that we really did tip to do well this weekend at the Bug Jam. Pulling that red light, fouling himself out of competition. That's his day's work finished. Paul Sutton can take it easy, take it steady through to the final. Well done there to Paul. And an upset, Gary Angel losing in that semi-final. Here we move on with our final, Mark Humphries, the man that's had so many trials and tribulations with the Weekend Warrior. Blew an engine earlier on in the year. Paul Sutton, just a little bit quicker. Can he upset him here? But as you can see, that I think we saw a red light there just at the start line, and that really will mean that Paul Sutton can cruise through and take the win. We see him just backing off there. He doesn't want to break out. Takes the win. He saw that red light there from Mark Humphries, and Paul Sutton taking a very well-deserved win in our Super Street division. Well, action aplenty as always in modified. We take it up with Ross Morrison and Luke Theocari with the Moody car, and we can see the Moody car once again all over the place. That pro sedan of Luke's really fighting for traction, and it looks to me as though that man from Scotland may hang on for the win. He does 13.07 at 106 miles an hour. More action here in our modified round. Keith Hume, the editor of Volkswagen, going against his nemesis, Paul Miller. Paul, a slower car, but a very consistent car indeed. You can see Keith Hume there just coming into the shot, really on a charge there for another 10-second pass, catching Paul Miller. He mustn't break out. He's dabbing the brakes. He just does it. 10.60 is dialing, takes the win with a 10.83 to advance to the next round. And there's a man that really has set the modified ranks on its ear this year. Jeff Gobson with that little Volkswagen buggy of his. Slow by comparison by some, but again, very consistent. That's the name of the game with VWDRC racing. Consistency always pays dividends. And the crowd straining to get a view here, as we are from our position. And it's Nick Beaumont going against Paul Hughes. Nick Beaumont, you can see that huge handicap he's got there. This gorgeous funny car of Paul Hughes will be coming into shot very quickly. Can Nick Beaumont hang on? Let's have a look and see if he does. He's broken out. He's gone too fast. Paul Hughes cruising through, takes the win, and a red light there for Nick Beaumont. We couldn't see that through the crowd, but Paul Hughes safely advances to the next round with the Outrage 2 car. Well, of course, we mustn't forget at this meeting at the Bug Jam, we had Dave Fort and Tom Shue on hand. They really are the guru of, if you like, Volkswagen racing from the States, the men from California. Brian Burrows looking very, very happy there. I think he's probably just dropped a shilling and found a pound. So being motioned forward into stage, they really have got an intricate burnout procedure for this car. They've had a lot of traction problems with it. I think they're putting down a little bit of grip juice there, a little bit of traction compound, really trying to get those big Goodyear slicks to stick to the ground. You can see the crew just laying a puddle of it there. They'll motion Paul Hughes just forward in that funny car. There he sat. You'll just see him spin the tyres. In the meantime, of course, Ross Morrison taking it very, very steady. not going to be rushed. Semi-final here, a lot of points at stake in this very prestigious Bug Jam meeting. Tom Shue, you can see they're really overseeing things, making sure that Paul has that RPM just as it needs to be as he leaves the start line. We've got a small hold situation while we wait for the top end to clear. Thumbs up now from our start line crew. Both those cars edging forward into stage. Heat building in those engines. They may be air-cooled, but a lot of RPM there. And there goes Ross Morrison. Look at the handicap. Paul Hughes got to sit there and wait with the Outrage 2 funny car. Away, no smoke from the tyres. This looks like it could be a good run here for Paul Hughes. Let's see if he can just catch Ross Morrison towards the top end. It's quick, but it's Ross Morrison that just hangs on. Paul Hughes breaking out, running an 8, really running very well all weekend. But Ross Morrison, once again, the picture of consistency, takes that win. Well, these two gentlemen have met several times this year, and I've often said that I think Keith Shue would probably want to ban Volksrods completely from all elimination, because Jeff Copson really has handed him a pasting throughout the year. That little Volksrod, a lot of problems earlier on in the weekend. We saw a pushrod break, and Jeff sidelined for a while. We thought we may not see the giant killer of modified here this weekend. But both the cars now completing their burnouts. The 52 No Mercy split of Keith Shue. I'm sure his fan club will be up there somewhere in the grandstand, raincoat in hand. We wait for the cars to come forward into stage. There goes Keith Shue, just dropping the wheels forward that last few inches. See the handicap there for Jeff Copson. Now we sit and wait. Keith Shue's got to be patient. Lifts the front wheels a little bit. Maybe a little bit of a stumble there as he changed gear. Could that cost him the race? Jeff Copson heading for that finish line. Keith Shue bearing down on him as we speak. Let's see who takes the win. And it's Keith Shue that takes that win. But just looking back, Jeff Copson actually was the man that did not break out. So Keith Shue went too quick on his dial-in, and it will be Jeff Copson once again defeating Keith Shue into the final against the man from Scotland, Ross Morrison.
12.92 his dial-in.
So the crowd very much on the edge of their seats for this final. A lot of our big names have been knocked out, but still, nonetheless, Jeff Copson really is on a roll this year. He's going to want to take that third win. He wants to take that championship. He's going to have to work hard against Ross Morrison. He really has put in some tremendous performances during the course of this weekend. So RPM's building on those engines. Jeff Copson really shows that car absolutely no quarter whatsoever. You can see he's sitting there on the wheelie bars as he leaves the start line. Ross Morrison now has to do the chasing. Can he catch Jeff Copson before the top end, or can Jeff Copson go 3 for 3 this year? Let's wait and see as they cross the finish line. It's going to be close. And it's Jeff Copson that takes the win. Well done to him. once again at the Bug Jam. Welcome visitors, not Volkswagens, but raw horsepower. Funny cars with doors, a very own pro-modified elimination here. Mountain motors, horsepower, how much do you want? This guy, 1,200 horsepower, Mr. Pro Modified, Tim Cook, that 55 Chevy, a more radical front end yet again this year. Funny car style burnout from Tim, really has done so well with this car, and he's going to be looking for another championship. Edging forward into stage, wheels high in the air there. Tim Cook really is on a flying pass here, getting a little bit out of shape towards the top end, hits the 8th markers, just missed Dave Paula, the man in the other lane, up against the barrier, sliding from one side to the other, up on the roof and out into the field. Well, Tim Cook really had his handful there. I wonder what the man's got to say about that.
We wait for our safety crew.
Well, really, we were trying to do a decent pass, and we had a lot of power in the engine. I mean, we can change the power output of the engines quite easily. And it left very, very hard. It was great. The tyres shook in second gear. It was okay. It was all starting to slow down, and then it hit the field and flipped over a load of times, and that was unexpected. I didn't expect that. But it was fine. I mean, I had my eyes open all the time and watched it and switched everything off and got out.
Tim Cook, one cool character there. Hopefully he'll be back with us shortly. We move on now with the semi-finals of Street Warrior. Dave Pickles against the man with that indecently quick little golf of his, Pete Dickinson. But it's Dave Pickles. That car could win car shows as well as races. Pete Dickinson is going to make sure he doesn't win this particular race. Looking for a place in the final. It looks pretty close because these cars are fairly evenly matched on performance. Let's see who crosses the finish line first. It's Dave Pickles with a 1646. Takes that win. Here we are, straight through into the final. The man from Wales, Daffyd Charles, now meeting up against Dave. And Dave, of course, put Pete Dickinson out in that other semi-final. Daffyd Charles, of course, took out Duncan Wilson. So this is for the money in Street Warrior, a very popular class here at all our Volkswagen meetings. Bug Jam, we had a full field as always. Who's going to take the win? Is it going to be Daffyd Charles, or is Dave Pickles going to take his first win in Street Warrior? Let's wait and see who crosses the finish line. It's Daffyd Charles, the man from Wales, that takes the win. 16.0, 69 miles an hour. Good pass there for Daffyd Charles. Well, one of the feature events on our first day. It really is a classic. It's our Quick 8, and it's good to see Paul Hughes, Brian Burrows and all the gang out with that gorgeous Outrage 2 funny car. Really has brought modified racing to a whole new dimension this year, and he'll be going up against Nick Beaumont with that little silver modified car of his. Nick, not quite the seasoned campaigner of Paul Hughes. Of course, Paul also campaigned the Speedster and has got a very checkered career in very many forms of motorsport. Nick Beaumont, he's the man enjoying his first season with this car. A very radical looking car, lowered right down to the ground. The big wing on the back, very much almost a junior pro modified, if you like. And he really is going to have his hands full here in this first round of our Quick 8. Burnouts completed, both the cars moving forward into the staging beams. They're going to take that very, very carefully indeed. You see Paul Hughes just edging forward. Nick Beaumont already into stage, building the RPM on that 2.8 litre Autocraft engine underneath the fiberglass stretched Beetle body in the far lane. And Nick Beaumont, it is away first. Paul Hughes, again, the man must have the patience that you can't believe. There he comes screaming into shot. He's catching him moment by moment. Is he going to catch him before the top end? He does with an 884, 137. That man just gets quicker and quicker and quicker. Our next pairing here, that's Gary Angel, the man out there. Now, he should be going against Colin Arkle with the Freddy car, but it looks like they may have some problems there. You can see not really burning out as it should do, but Gary Angel, no such problems at the moment. Mr. Consistency in this class. He's taken several wins in our Quick 8, and he's going to be looking forward to repeating today, I'm sure. Colin and Richard Arkle, well, the family team, they're going to be looking to upset him in this first round. A huge crowd here on hand at the Bug Jam, looking forward to some very close racing indeed. Colin Arkle moving forward into the staging beams. It's Gary Angel that's going to now 3-pin last. The master of the start line technique. But do I spot a red light there on the tree. It looks like Gary Angel has found himself out of the competition, cutting that tree just a little bit too fine. Colin Arkle is going to go through to the next round, and he's going to meet Paul Hughes. That's going to be a goodie. Takes the win with a 13.24 at 103. Gary Angel ran an 11.50. Red lights, they cost you races. Our next pair, Bill Griffiths. Bad news. The car has been bad news for him this year. Really has not had the measure of consistency it's going to take to win his modified division. Keith Hume, of course, the editor of Volksworld, with that 52 split window of his, very low to the ground, very similar to Nick Beaumont's. I think maybe Nick may have copied some of those designs, but he hasn't copied the horsepower that this awesome car of Keith Hume's produces yet. Backing up after the burnout, and now just coming forward into the staging beams. This, once again, is of course our first round of our quick 8. We're going to see the handicap in the favour of Bill Griffiths. That car a little bit slower. It's been running in the 11s, getting some consistency, getting some power. Not that much of a handicap. Keith Hume already up alongside him. Looks like it's going to be a close race, but there you see Keith Hume, that power at the top end, really starting to tell. He can ease off, take it steady, and back into the 11s, but still a very good run from him, and that'll see him through to the next round. The last pair in the first round, John Brewster. It's great to see John back after a year off, racing in his Super Street division. Not quite on the pace, not running the 11s yet, but very consistent and a master on the tree. He really will be a hard man to beat here. The man that's going to try and do it, that modified car, the Moody car of Luke Thiakari. Well, I know that Luke's car really is a crowd favourite. It's almost like the Clint Eastwood film, Every Which Way You Can. It sometimes goes into the barrier, it sometimes goes skyward, but that car is always entertainment. Luke Thiakari waiting there. You can see the tyres burning away there as he leaves the start line. Bit of smoke there from the engine, and it looks as though he may take the win, but if we go back, I think we're going to see he pulled the red light. So John Brewster, that old stager, and saw that one and didn't want to wreck the engine, took it nice and steady. There's the caption, tells us all. John Brewster takes the win. Luke Thiakari, red light. Well, we pick it up again in the next round, and we've just seen John Brewster taking that easy run. I don't think he's going to get such an easy ride here against Keith Hume. Great friends off the track, and when it comes to that quarter mile, deadly enemies. Both of them want to advance to that final. Keith Hume, his car not been without problems this year, some little breakages that have cost him dearly. You can see him just opening the door there, getting rid of the smoke from that burnout. It's very, very hot and claustrophobic in that car. The picture of concentration there on Keith's eyes. I'm sure the Keith Hume fan club will be very, very interested in the outcome of this race. John Brewster edging forward, just glances over at Keith Hume. Building the RPM. And away goes John Brewster. Keith Hume has all the catching up to do. The car hard on the wheelie bars there as he leaves the start line. That engine really running very well indeed. John Brewster heading for the finish line, but Keith Hume catching him towards the top end and just takes that win. 10.62, 124 miles an hour, progresses to the final. Who's he going to meet? It's going to be one of these two, either Paul Hughes or that man that had a little bit of a lucky run in the first round, Colin Arkle. He's going to be up against it here. The Outrage 2 funny car of Paul Hughes and Brian Burrows is really set for kill this weekend. Tom Shue is over from the States, as is Dave Fultz. They really, as we've already said, the gurus of Volkswagen drag racing, building these 2.8-litre Autocraft engines to almost destruction. They can run the cars down in the 8s and the 7s. We can see the dial in there on Paul Hughes' window, 8.63 to a 13.25. That's a 5-second handicap. Colin is going to be able to get away in the Freddie car 5 seconds before Paul Hughes even sees a green light. And if you've ever, I've had the chance to sit in that Outrage car, and it's like looking through a letterbox when you sit in there. Really no vision whatsoever. Spinning the tyres a little bit there, that could cost Paul Hughes very, very dearly indeed. He's starting to catch Colin towards the top end. Really is on a charge. Who's going to take the win? It is Paul Hughes that takes that win. Colin Arkle breaking out, going quicker than his dial-in, and Paul Hughes running another 8.94 to take the win. Sets up a very interesting final indeed. We've got the quick man from 91, Keith Hume, against the new kid on the block with this car. Really has pushed modified to a new limit this year, Paul Hughes. See a little bit of smoke there from Keith Hume's car, not only from the engine, but again, billowing out. As you can see, Keith concentrating very hard after the burnout, making sure he's back in those rubber tracks, wants to get maximum traction. Still, even with the speed of Keith Hume's car, we're still going to see something like a 2-second handicap in the favour of Keith. Paul Hughes going to have to be very patient indeed as he comes to the start line. A little bit of a staging war here, neither wanting to stage first. A lot of pride at stake here, and of course that trophy for Quick 8. Cars edging forward. Keith Hume away on those wheelie bars hard again. A little bit of tyre spin there for Paul Hughes. That could cost him dear. Really has had some traction problems. Look at this for a top-end race. It's close, but that horsepower at the top end just pulls Paul Hughes through to that win. We're looking at the replay there. We can see Keith Hume away on those wheelie bars. We can see Paul Hughes waiting patiently. A little bit of tyre spin, but just enough grip, just enough power to take the win. So well done to Paul Hughes, and a great weekend's racing. Over to the show and shine.
Near the car.
slow. That's it.